You are now tuned into Moses Squared Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Make sure you follow both me and Desmond on social media platforms, as well as subscribing to Moses Squared Podcast on YouTube and following Moses Squared Pod on Instagram. Enjoy the episode. What's going on, everyone? It is a Moses Squared Podcast.
We back.
It's been a minute, but we back. If you're new here, you've never tuned into our show before, I am Lauren Moses. I am the sister of...
It's your boy Desmond Moses, former Kansas City Chief, Green Bay Packer. What up, Lo?
Oh, yeah.
What we talking about today?
We're talking about a lot because there's so much to talk about. But before we get into those topics, it's May, right? It's May. Almost summertime. People trying to get summertime fine.
Yeah.
It's also mental health awareness. But let's just talk about what is going on this month. You had some, big days. In the first few weeks of the month.
It's a big day for me. Actually, we started off the month. I took baby girl. I took my daughter. She was my date, as well as my mom, to a YMCA Challenger Fund. It was raising some funds for kids with Down syndrome and special needs, youth teams, youth leagues. Wonderful event. They showed up. They showed out. We got to put our 3-piece suits on. I got to get fly up a baby girl in there. We did our thing. But also, it was my daughter's birthday, so happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday, Naomi.
And my mother's birthday, which comes back to back, 5'3" and 5'4". Coincidentally, my daughter's 5'4". I always tell folks, look, I know God is real. The number 5 and the number 4 changed my life in that order. Started with my plan number. And it's continued on to my daughter. She's been a blessing. But yeah, Lo, what about you? What's your month look like? What's the deal? What's new?
Ooh, mental health has been at the top of my mind. I feel like, I don't know if it's social media or the women are just talking so much about their mental health this month and just, trying to fight this stigma, see it for what it is and that it really needs to be supported. It needs to be acknowledged, especially, in schools. Kids coming up these days need to realize that their mental health is important. Whatever they're feeling, they aren't alone, how they can reach out for resources. So that's kind of been in the front of my mind this month. On top of the WNBA season's about to start.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty hype about that. Like, come on, we only get a couple of months out the year now.
That's a big deal, though. That's a big deal because we got some headlines. We got, Olympian that's coming back from a I would say tumultuous off season last year too. And this player that we're hinting at is obviously Brittney Griner.
Yep.
But there's other stars. I've become a huge fan of the Candace Parkers. I mean, she's obviously been a superstar, one of your favorite players since I could ever remember. Mm-hmm. But just watching her body of work as she grows, she's a veteran, obviously still having that success within the league.
Yeah.
But to watch her off the court, she is NBA TV, ESPN. She's calling games. I mean, I don't understand how this lady's getting it all done. I feel like it's two of her, but shout out to Candace.
On different sides of the country too. You got to give love to Candace Parker. She's a GOAT in the game. She left Chicago after playing with them last year and is now joining the WNBA reigning champs in Las Vegas Aces. But we also have stars like Arike Gumbawale. We have Diana Taurasi.
A vet.
Brianna Stewart. We got to talk about that New York team though, because Liberty they just made a super team out here. They got Jonquel Jones. They got Sabrina Ionescu.
Is it the market? What is it? What's drawing the team here? Because
it's the super teams. I was gonna say,
is that what it is?
I think the super teams are coming to the W. They seen it, be very successful.
Well,
in the NBA.
I don't want to overlook the fact that we're not just talking about a super team in a particular city. We're talking about a women's basketball team in the Mecca.
Yeah.
Not only the basketball capital, but marketing-wise, dollars. And we're talking about growing the women's game. Why not build the best team in New York City, in the capital, and make it happen? Because obviously we know about the business opportunities. This could be a team in itself that helps push the game forward because we want to see those girls get those big dollars, see them get those Nike, Under Armour, the sneaker deals, because this is what's really going to set their game apart, that including the TV deals. So I think this is brilliant. I think these ladies are savvy. They know what's going on. They know what's going on.
It just came out this week that the national television it just came out that the number of games that's going to be on national TV is record number ever this upcoming WNBA season. So it all goes hand in hand, right? Like everybody, more eyes are watching it, more clicks are happening on social media when it comes to WNBA players and their games. So it makes sense that this is the time to invest.
Lo, tell me this. Do we have to give a shout out to these NCAA young women out here
1,000%.
Who we've talked about in the past, but I can't think of a year, I mean, in the past where so many eyes have been on the game, not only the LSUs, not only the talent on and off the court, the NIL deals that are going on that are super lucrative, but the game, the quality of the game, these girls are balling. We talked about the Clarks and we talk about the Angels, Reese's. These girls are ballers. They're not just, easy on the eye, but it's also beautiful to see them get that money.
Yeah, and I think it all goes together. It all goes together. You invest in a product, you're going to get something out of it. You're going, especially when we're talking about ballers. You and I know how long it takes to get to a certain level of the game. So there's a lot of hours. There's a lot of sweat equity that goes into making it to that level. And so when you can, compensate that, it's only going to make them go harder. And we're seeing that happen on the women's game. So definitely you have to show love to the college side of things. Yeah. And then I'm praying that the coverage will get to where the college game is, because the college game, women's game, has definitely surpassed the women's. But let's hold off on that real quick. The last thing is graduation. Think about the month of May.
Okay.
This is graduation across the board, whether you're graduating from the 8th grade, 12th grade, college, grad school, PhD, keep going and going.
Or preschool, like my baby.
Preschool. I'm sorry, I forgot about the preschool. But what does graduation time? Can you remember all the times you graduated? What is the mindset of leaving?
All the times. I should be asking you this. I've only graduated once, y'all. I graduated from high school, left college a little bit early. But
you graduated from the 8th grade.
That is not a graduation, sis.
It is. That is a big deal. You're going, what? Okay, so since it's not a big deal.
Okay.
I can tell you about my 8th grade graduation because I was going to a public high school.
Okay.
A high school that my brother ran around in. A high school that my dad also ran around in.
Facts. Facts.
Like, yes, from playing sports to just being like pillars in our community. Like go in where we're from, everyone knows Desmond Moses, everyone knows Vernon Moses, right? And so I'm coming into a high school where I feel a little bit of pressure to, live up to those names, but also like I'm going with my own goals in regards to basketball. And so I knew there was a player ahead of me who I wanted, Demaya Walker, whose record I wanted to break even in my freshman. So there was a lot of pressure like when I graduated 8th grade, but it was so much excitement about the possibilities. Like I think that we get held up with the pressure, but the possibilities are endless, for real.
You ain't lying. You know what? You ain't lying, because that is an interesting take. I didn't really think about it like that, especially, for myself. It's funny because my 8th grade to 9th grade year was a heck of a transition. First off, I went from Willingboro over to Wissampton, which was a culture shock for myself, going from an all Black neighborhood with all my partners that I grew up with. We had crazy activities that we was into, to going over here where it was a lot more civilized. It was academic based, but even the integration of having white classmates and Black classmates, it was an experience for me. Something that was new. But 8th grade, I didn't start. I didn't even start on the basketball team in 8th grade, and started varsity 9th grade. The coaching was bad, but that's neither here nor there. It was an opportunity. That was when things got serious. That's when they start keeping that ticker. Who's what's separating who. And I remember the first day I went to Rancocas Valley. I was a young, skinny little punk, athletic, but I went out there. I saw the varsity football team and cat by the name of Gordon Cagle, and I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, I'm athletic. I'm more athletic than all these guys, but these guys look strong. I'm like, these guys look strong. Mind you, I'm 14 years old, fresh out of 8th grade. I worked out twice a day that summer. They had to lock me out the weight room. But say all that to say, this was a year that for me obviously changed the trajectory of, where I was going. That's when I realized, okay, it might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But we're going to put that work in.
My jump was from Catholic school. I did 1 year of Catholic school in 8th grade. My parents say it was just to prepare me for the academics of high school.
Sure.
So that was also an adjustment, because one, I had never I'm not Catholic. So that
Right,
was a whole
right.
culture shift of me going through 1 year of that. So then going to a huge, mind you, like our high school doesn't have like 100 people in a class. We have hundreds of
Yeah,
people in one class.
yeah.
So it's like
I'm coming out
that
the
was just
jacket. It's getting real.
it's serious.
It's getting
Um,
serious.
so that's the month of May. I mean, for all
Sure.
those who may be, going through any of the things that we just spoke about, graduation, mental health, birthdays, like really cherish the moment, stay in the moment, right? Don't try to look too far ahead. Don't hold on to the past. Just try to be, even keel right in the middle. And you'll find your way through for sure. So let's get into it though. Let's get into Brittney Griner because Brittney Griner's back. She's home. She's with her
Back.
family. She's with her team. And that was a long time coming for sure. She was away for way too long, it seems like. And she's finally back with her family. She's back with her teammates. And not only is she back with her teammates, she's actually practicing, being a part of training camp.
She'll be back.
That's what I'm saying. They about to play their first game. Like, can you imagine?
I mean, the anticipation, you got to imagine the nerves, the fear, all of the emotions that are involved, Lo. We've come back from injuries, suspensions, and other things that as an athlete you have to deal with, you have to go through. Some athletes have dealt with academic restrictions and coming back. For Brittney Griner, I can remember when I left the University of Iowa and leading up to my first game at Tulane, it was 18 months that I didn't get to play the game that I so loved, that, changed my life. I remember all of the emotions, that I got to go through and that I went through. And then playing that game in my very home state versus Rutgers, it was overwhelming almost, so put yourself in her shoes, Lo, if you can, or put yourself in your own shoes. Give me an example of some of the things she might be feeling for people at home who just don't understand, like, how big this is for her.
Yeah. I mean, I've actually been able to be a part of several press conferences now where she is speaking and talking about the emotions, talking about what her preparation has been like. And really it's putting your head down and going to work. She knows that this wasn't going to take her away from the game of basketball. So when she got back, that was her motive, was to just get back to work and getting back to the hard grind. And that's what she said. She was like, the days that I put my head down and I just worked hard are the days I'm most proud of. It's not the days where, I'm cuddled up with, she has a wife. So not days when she's with her family. Like, yeah, obviously those are great. But when it comes to returning to the court, it is the process that she has fallen in love with again. And that in itself, because a lot of people can get in their woe is me, right? Especially after something so traumatic. But she's like, nah, put your head down, you do the work, and I'll be back. And she got that 1-year deal back with Mercury as on a free agent contract, $165,000. That's a lot for the WNBA.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal in the WNBA.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
So I mean, I wish her nothing but the best. She seems like she's in great spirits. She's always smiling whenever she's around. She's always embracing, even the journalists who have covered her. She thanked them too, because that was a huge part of her entire story over in Russia, was the amount of coverage that she was getting, which helped her. And so now she has a foundation where she's trying to help other Americans come back who are locked up. So
that's a big story. I mean, that's a big deal. Shout out to Brittney Griner. Even ahead of this, she was one of the biggest names, the biggest faces in the game.
Yeah.
Iconic, if you will, known for the dunk. One of the, we always talk about the women's game and, the lack of dunking, but she was one of the pioneers and trailblazers, if you will, dunking in game, bringing that excitement up in athleticism level. These girls are as athletic as they are now, partly because watching the game evolve. And Brittney Griner was one of those women who had a great impact on that. So shout out to her.
Let's switch gears, though, to the men in the NBA, because it's playoff time, baby. We are one round down and in the second currently, and it's getting hot.
Absolutely.
We're at a few game fives right now.
You know what? I'm enjoying these matchups. We got so many different storylines. We got LeBron. We got Stephen Curry. LeBron, I mean, I feel like this matchup is a little bit too early. Low. I'm starting to whisper about Stephen Curry being the all-time GOAT.
I don't know if this is too early. I don't think this is too early. Golden State, they weren't Golden State this year, but because of Stephen Curry, right? Like Stephen Curry was injured a lot this season. They had a lot of injuries actually, and so and the grand scheme of how great this franchise is, yeah, we could say it's too early. But in regards to what they produced this season and what both of these teams produced, this is a 6-7 matchup.
Yeah.
Like,
But
who would have
I'm
thought?
talking about Stephen Curry in particular being the best player. First off, I played with this man. I played against someone in NBA 2K, and I'm not no video gamer. I know how to move around, space the court. I'll do my thing. They had Stephen Curry on her like he was shoot the ball from anywhere, get it off, pull it off, you bump him in his space, don't matter. I'm like, this is not real. I watched the game the other night.
It is real.
That boy for real.
Yeah.
That boy is for real. You can be in his space, only thing you can't be is up under him because it's gonna be he gonna hit you with that after you hit it. The man's playing
too late.
He's playing outside of his mind. I mean, even his strength, the speed. I love LeBron. But Stephen Curry is not slowing down. This is a heck of a series versus a legendary LeBron.
No, and I don't know because the next question is LeBron is old, but he not washed, bro. I don't think he's laying down. Man do you see the look in this man's eyes?
He's playing like a deranged killer.
We've seen recently, I will say in the past few years, we have seen LeBron not show up in playoff games.
Right.
We have not seen that this year.
No, he's a crusty old vet. He knows exactly what buttons to push. He knows how to get AD riled up. He knows how to get his team going. But the most amazing part is just watching this guy who's, in year 20, physically, he's still more athletic than a lot of these guys. Yeah. He's faster than most of these guys. And it's straight incredible. I don't even want to talk about the I word and, how he's been able to have a 20-year run with missing very few games, but it's incredible. And we can't say enough about a guy that's that size, that's given us that much greatness for that amount of time.
Yeah.
We need to give him his roses now and later because it's incredible.
But Jimmy Butler, Butler.
Jimmy Jordan. Yeah. Oh.
Jesus.
Did you hear it's a story out. It's a story that says, I don't know if you've heard about it.
I've heard it.
Jimmy's long lost father, supposedly Michael Jeffrey.
Oh, goodness.
It said mathematically the math was mathing.
Neither here nor there. This man single-handedly beat the Milwaukee Bucks.
Well, let's hear when you talk about Michael Jordan and it possibly being his son. It becomes a hair thing. The boy playing like Michael. I mean, it's incredible. The stature, the physique. This kid is. I mean, Jimmy Butler wasn't a blue chip recruit. He wasn't this wasn't a smooth ride. No. This kid was homeless at a point in his life, and to see him overcome. I mean, Jimmy is playing at a all-pro level.
For real. I want them to get by the Knicks. I think they need to get by the Knicks, but it's 3-2 right now. Not sure what that will look like by the time this episode is out next week. But I'm pushing for Jimmy.
You pushing for Jimmy over the New York boys, over the Villanova boys?
Yes.
That's how you feeling?
Yes.
All right.
I mean, they ain't shown me nothing. Yes. Okay. Let me chill out. Okay. Yeah.
Chill out. The boy ain't but 5'10". He's getting busy.
Okay, I don't want to disrespect, right? Because I know all my Philly people about to be on my line.
But, get on their head, y'all.
But what I'm saying is,
what you saying?
They're not doing enough.
Okay.
For the team result. You know me, ain't no iron team. Like Jimmy is making and I don't want to compare Brunson to Jimmy. I know that the weapons around them are different.
You can't because Julius Randle is supposed to be that Jimmy Butler, and he's not. He's not there.
But that's what I'm saying. There are players, and that's what I'm saying. Like Brunson and Jimmy Butler they don't have the same role on the team. So I don't want to compare. But my thing is, Jimmy is a superstar. He makes everyone around him better. Brunson is a great player.
For sure.
But will he ever be a superstar? I'm not sure. So it's hard for me in the playoffs to be like, oh, I want a Philly dude to win, because when they get to a conference final, what is your team gonna do?
Yeah. I think, it's still a lot of that weight is falling on Brunson. When again, Julius Randle's the money guy. Julius Randle's the guy that's supposed to, NBA all. He's supposed to be that guy, and he's not the guy that delivers. I seen a stat he was shooting under 40% all time in the playoffs. I mean, you can't win playoff games shooting like that. That's the time when the stars shine.
Yeah. And that's another thing, though. I think, people throw around the load management thing. Randall does a lot during the regular season.
Yes.
And then in the
Yes,
playoffs, he's usually injured, or he usually has an ache, or he has something going on. So it's like, how can the Knicks do
That's
a
a
better
nice
job?
little excuse you structured for him. That was cute.
It's not an excuse. Those is facts.
It might be that.
Look at his minutes. And I'm not, it might be that. I'm saying, yes, when you get to playoff, you should be, ain't nobody tapping me on my shoulder saying you got to sit down. I'm not telling nobody that I'm hurt, all those things for sure. But who knows, right? Who knows what injury, who knows whatever is going on. Julius Randle is not that in shape, first of all. I'm sorry. He's not that in shape for him to be 100% healthy in the regular season, 100% healthy in the postseason, and go out and be a Jimmy Butler type of superstar.
So we talk about being in shape, we talk about playoffs. There's a guy who we've kind of put into this elite category. We placed him there, and his numbers are phenomenal on a phenomenal playoff team, but he seems to always be tired come playoff time. And I'm talking about our light-skinned brother, Jayson Tatum. Is he really like that? Is he really like that? Because little bro, Mr. Brown comes to his aid pretty often. I don't know who's Batman, who's Robin anymore. Because playoff time, what do you think? The legs look a little dead. What's going on, Lo? Is Jayson Tatum the guy we think he is, or is he a regular season killer? Postseason.
I had to put that up there. Is Tatum like that? That's a great question.
Is he like that?
It's not consistent. It's not consistent. I think he gets overhyped, honestly, if we're being 100% honest. I think
you're talking about the media? You talking about us? You think we're giving him too much love?
I think everyone. Us included. I think we're the problem.
I think we might be the problem because I try to crown him a couple seasons ago.
Exactly, but when you did. I ain't gonna let you forget that. But when you think about it, we do all that when Brown isn't pulling his weight and Tatum has to. It's very rare. I don't want to say regular season. I've seen both of them be on, but it's very rare when things are on the line that they can both be clicking at the same time. I don't know if that's egos. Word on the street is, I'm going to tell you what we're talking about in my work slat is Jalen is out of there. Out of there.
So I can see that because he's getting overshadowed, and I think he's the piece who he gives that selflessness. Like you said, you don't know if they clicked on any particular night, but I want to disagree because I think he is the one that is willing to give up the shot, is willing to defer to Jayson Tatum,
and bust his butt on defense,
kill it on defense, and still go out and give you 27 quietly.
Yeah.
And there was a point late in the season where it was a final game, late in the game. It was the last shot that needed to be had. Jaylen Brown had it. The play was supposed to go to Tatum, and he was so reluctant to. Literally, they didn't get a shot off. I said, ooh. This is going to be a problem. This is a problem. Jaylen Brown did not want to give that thing up.
Yeah.
And I think he believes in himself at such a high clip with such such high confidence. I think you're right, Lo. I think you just dropped a hot take. Jaylen Brown is going to, he's out of town.
Okay, before we wrap it up though, because there's so many names.
Okay.
Goodness, so many names. We have to talk about Denver and the Suns, bro.
Ooh. These series, Lo, you ain't lying. These series, Jokic? What? Where does man Murray come from? Who his trainer? Who is Murray's trainer?
Who birthed Jokic? First of all, this man, I need his stats in front of me right now. Pull him up. Why you talking about that? Talk about being in shape. I'm sorry. Talk about being in shape. This man scored 53 points in 39 minutes.
Yeah. Getting after it.
11 and 19.
You know what? And as good as he is, he's actually playing more relaxed than he was last year. He has less weight to carry than last year. He got Jamal Murray back, who's playing like all pro, like he's been in somebody's gym at night training since he took these 2 years off. This brother's coming off a serious knee injury.
People forgot. When I say people, I am people.
Yeah. You rarely see somebody come back off of after 2 years and have that type of touch, let alone quickness.
Efficiency.
And this man will still dunk on you.
Efficiency is crazy.
I mean, this playoffs is hey, they're not letting up now. These boys playing some ball now.
On the other side, you got KD and Devin Booker. What is happening?
Devin Booker is shooting 79% or something crazy.
Yes.
From the field over the last 2 games. This brother is shooting. I mean, first off, let's talk about the spacing that's happened since KD's arrived. We're basketball fanatics. This gets us excited. We excited, y'all.
I know. And we got to wrap soon.
Okay.
Before we get into the spacing, can we talk about how dynamic, is that the word? Flexible, adaptable. KD can play with anyone and 100%. They will win. Like 100%. KD is up there. Like, I don't know if we've said this before, I'm sure. But he's like the LeBron. Anywhere he goes, he's going to be great. Cool, we got that. But everywhere he goes, he can make other people better. He can put other people in position to do their thing. Not to put them on, because we knew Devin Booker was like that. But the fact that this man is playing a whole nother role, now that Chris Paul is out.
Talk about the big man?
No. Chris Paul. He slide into that one position like nobody's business.
But this is the thing. This is my one knock on Kevin Durant, because we obviously know about his talent, about his, physical gifts. The man's 7 foot. You can't block his shot. I don't know if we've seen his jumper ever blocked. But it's the petty nature. He gets into these moods. And a lot like our friend from Jersey, Kyrie, he can become toxic. He's a toxic. We know this, but we love him. That's the one thing, again, we got to still clap for LeBron, because he's never, ever, ever, we've never seen it. From the king.
I feel bad saying this.
Say it. Come on.
I'm going to always root for a Black queen. And sorry, but that's Savannah James beside him.
Not even
I'm
close.
Sorry. There's no doubt in my mind that she don't speak life in that man. She don't correct him when he get out of line. Like, we talk about the people who be acting out, they be the mute. They with some mutes, or they ain't got nobody. I'm sorry. I'm just saying what everyone's thinking.
Look, we know, and look, I believe it. I think it's some truth to that, because we know no woman would let KD leave the house every day like that, boy. That's not love. That's not love. All right. So I think you got some truth. My boy Brian, he know when to get his thing transplanted. She said, baby, go ahead and let it go now. Let it go. Brian stay, you know what I'm saying? But in all seriousness, Savannah is a queen, and we've seen it. We've seen her back him up and support and be all of those things. LeBron looks as free as can be when he's out there. And that's, as a former professional athlete, that's one of the best things you can have, is to go out, work your craft, do your thing, knowing your house is taken care of, knowing everything's going to be good, and go get that bag.
For sure. Well, last thing, predictions. Who do we have who do we have big in the finals, and who do we think is going to win? I'm going to start first. I'm going to let you ponder on it, because I did think about it before we have it on here.
Who you got, Lo? Who you got there?
All right.
Tell us what's up. I'm
going to say Philly.
She said that because
I'm really rooting for Philly. I really want I want the Sixers to be in the finals, man. So I'm going to say Philly and the Lakers. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to take it back to the old days.
Philly and Lakers, huh? I'm not even going to East Coast team. If this dog is right, if this daggone dog is right.
Oh, wait, time out. You talking about I'm talking about final matchup.
Yeah. NBA Finals. Winning it all. Yeah. If this dog is right, and Stephen Curry and them come back from 3-1, it don't matter who they play, they're going to repeat, period. That's my take.
I'm going against the dog.
If this dog
is right, I will never do another predictions in my life.
No, you gonna get on here and thank him. You gonna get on here and apologize to him in dog lingo.
I cannot. But thank you guys so much for
crazy.
tuning in. That would be crazy. Tune into the NBA playoffs. If y'all not tuned in, y'all missing out. If y'all not about to tune into WNBA season, then don't even watch no more because you don't support what's going on. You don't support the movement. But for real, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We are back. We're gonna be right back. The next episode is gonna be all about NFL stuff. So tune in for that. We got what's going on. We got gambling stuff. We got
Aaron Rodgers,
free agency, draft, all those things. So tune into the next episode for sure. Tune into the next episode and
let's go.